So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. Why does it feel like it's been a long time? Just to put it out there, whenever we aren't posting on this channel, you can be sure that we are on our other channel, Neze Peperempe, my vlog channel. So join us there if you miss me. Consume our content over there before we make it back to Nezeville. Let's get right into today's video. When I came across bits and snippets of Peter Okoye, aka Mr. P's Tell-All series on some blogs, accusing his elder brother, his former manager, Jude Okoye, of theft, criminal misappropriation, fraudulent conversion, amongst others, I was surprised. Yes, I was. And you may ask, why? I was surprised not because I did not know that those allegations exist. They remain allegations for now, right? Not facts. That was not my surprise. Why I was surprised was because based off Peter's petition to the Financial Crimes Commission, the authorities acted swiftly. An investigation ensued. Jude was arrested, detained, and subsequently charged. And he is currently facing trial to determine the truth or the falsity of those claims. His travel documents have been confiscated, his bank accounts frozen, and an injunction has been placed on the properties that are subjects of the disputes to preserve the state of those properties pending the determination of the matter. Meaning the court has frozen that property. Nobody can go and sell it. Nobody can access it. The properties that Peter is alleging that Jude stole from him, even the monies, everything have been frozen. It's called an injunction pending the determination of the case. And as we speak, the case is ongoing in courts. No verdict has been reached. Now, please note that nothing here depicts injustice to Jude or is a suggestion of his guilt. These steps are very normal and typical in cases involving allegation of fraud. So the law is simply taking its course. Nobody is victimizing Jude. That is how it usually goes. Now, when a matter is subject to active litigation, it is prohibited from being discussed or debated publicly. The parties are not supposed to take to social media or anybody at all to start divulging nitty-gritties of it. Not to talk about a person of interest, which in this case is Peter, who is the nominal complainant. So I was like, Daddy P, are you sure that it's best to table this case before the court of social media now, when it is already progressing and pending before a court of law? Are you aware that that move can put the whole case in jeopardy and even cause the courts to hold you in contempt? You should have been more careful. Oh, are you sure? Did you run that decision by your attorneys? Did they give you a go-ahead to do this? So I was thinking and talking as a lawyer, not a regular social media commenter. Now, at this point, when I was initially questioning if Peter made the best decision doing that now, I hadn't gone to his page to watch the full videos, and I didn't intend to. I didn't intend talking about it because, come on, just like me, many of us were already tired of this Okoye brothers, Peter and Paul, fighting year in, year out. So I didn't want to. And besides, I took a peep at his page and I saw that he would post one of the videos, part 1, or is it episode 1? How did he title it? Then the next post will be him promoting a new song. So I was like, come, guy man, come here. I show you the whine us. Are you whining us? Are you using us to do promotion? Are you using us to generate traffic or promote your new single? So I didn't go to his page. I didn't pay attention to it. I was just running into it, parts of it here and there on the blogs. But as the days rolled by, instead of fading, this saga gained attention. And so I decided to go watch for myself. And I didn't get too long into the series when I already formed an opinion of what was happening and the roots of this outburst. Why Peter, who of course, he's a wealthy man, would have a very solid legal team. He might even have sons, senior advocates of Nigeria, representing him. Why he would damn all the legal consequences and still come to social media to give these episodes? And I made a short clip on Instagram revealing some of it. This is a part of what I said. Now, this whole thing may seem like an issue of money to we, the onlookers. But believe me when I tell you that it was not just about money. It didn't start as money. What I see is years and years of resentment, bitterness, ego tussles, hurt, and unmet emotional needs. Peter, on the one hand, may have felt neglected, boxed, controlled, undervalued. This complaint from Peter didn't just start now. This is outburst on social media. It has been happening for years. He kept on feeling neglected. He felt like Jude was not being fair, he was not being a good umpire, he was biased, and that his concerns were not being addressed seriously. Jude, on the other hand, may have believed that he was genuinely doing what was good for the team, managing the business, and the business was growing. We all saw how well they did as PSQUARE compared to how they're doing individually, protecting the brand, making all the difficult decisions as the manager showed. Paul, on the third hand, may have been seeing himself as the engine of the group. He felt like despite all the work he was putting in, Peter was being consistently ungrateful or difficult. Paul may have been feeling like Peter is being unnecessarily emotional, dramatic, and uncooperative, and that he is not only being insultive to him, that he is insulting the family. Every brother in the group felt like they were the ones being misunderstood. And that is exactly how most family conflicts grow, where everybody is defending their own pain and nobody is taking out the time to consider the pain of the other person. So while money has become the language of their fights, the real issues are pride, recognition, control, loyalty, respect. Now, 24 hours after my video, Peter came out with the almighty part 8 of his series, which has now become the climax of it. And there I had my confirmation. That was the only episode. For the first time since Peter started this last month, 30th of July, 2026, the episode 8 was the first time that Peter busted into tears like a baby and wept. That was the wound. So I tell you, if there was already existing love, peace, understanding, acceptance, respect, cooperation between these brothers, money will not make them fall out so hatefully, so bitterly, and so irreconcilably. There were serious underlying pains and tensions that have dragged for years. So we will address the money parts because it is important too. But first, let us address the foundation, the cocoa. Let us address and draw out the lessons from the part 8 of Peter's expose. Before we proceed, if you are new here, you're seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching us without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your thoughts down in the comment section, and stay glued for we have so much more coming your way. Don't forget to grab a copy of our book, The Unbroken Spirit. It is a powerful resource and guide to spotting harm, rebuilding, self-introspection, and naming a lot of vices that we may face for what they are. Let us dive right into the cocoa.
Please, I want to ask you people, I have 1 million naira to send to anybody that can go on Google and find any time I posted a tweet or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, any defamatory whatever on Peter's wife. Please, the first person to send that thing to me on my DM will win 1 million naira.
Jude Okoye. Now you see, statement like this, that you're going to offer 1 million naira, this is where I feel pity for Paul. Guys, I can guarantee you guys, Jude, we all know. Jude, you use Paul as a decoy. Yes. You try to manipulate Paul to say some things online so that at the end of the day, you're not setting up Paul for dragging. Now look at what you just said. Meanwhile, look at the innocent post Ola posted to wish I and Paul happy birthday. That's Paul's response. Now look at Jude's comment underneath. There has never been a time Paul have ever had maybe a physical altercation, argument, insult, on Lola. But on Jude's side is opposite way.
Now, one thing I noticed from the beginning of this part 8, in fact, almost consistent throughout the episodes, I don't know if you did notice it too, is how keen Peter is on protecting his twin brother, Paul, on making excuses for Paul, on defending Paul while putting Jude out. Even the foundation of his outbursts had nothing to do with Jude. It was Paul. Are you guys aware how this whole drama started last week? When Peter was like, his children, whatever, that his children he's so proud that they're learning French, that they can speak French or whatever, and Paul came out to like shade him indirectly, like, you won't teach your children the motherland, something like that. That was what initiated Peter to come out with this. But Peter is angry, not with Paul, with Jude. Paul is a full-blown man, an adult of his own. And everything that Peter is accusing Jude of, Paul did it too. Maybe even did worse. This allegation of fraud, Peter is trying hard to shield Paul. No, it's not Paul. Paul is not, I didn't report Paul. Paul didn't contribute. Paul didn't do anything. Paul doesn't know. It's Jude. It's Jude. Paul himself has come out with his own mouth to say, that thing Peter is accusing Jude of, me, I am guilty. He is guilty.
But supporting him because I know the truth. And the truth is, unfortunately, the way the journalists are making it look like, they make it look like he's a fraud, he's this, is that. Let's call it a spade a spade. Peter is the one putting Jude to this thing. Simple. You people stop writing whatever you want. It's Peter that is doing this, and I'm here. He's putting him in prison. I'm here to bring him out.
Okay, now, but Peter is a brother too.
I didn't deny that he's not my brother. Okay?
So, are you saying you're tilting towards Peter more than...
I understand the issues because you know why...
Sorry, towards Jude more than Peter?
It has something to do... I'm only standing for the truth. Because let me tell you something. The same crime they accuse him that he did, then Peter is guilty, Paul is guilty. In that case.
Even in this message that Peter is quoting, Paul was the one who publicly called out Lola. Jude was just under the comment section. It was Paul that openly insulted Lola. Peter couldn't get himself to accept that. He keeps insisting, no, it is not Paul. Paul is innocent. It is Jude manipulating him. It is Jude. It is Jude. Peter loves Paul, and he loves him so much. And when you love somebody, you would give excuses. You'll be blind to their shortcomings. Peter is like a wounded child. A wounded child who is upset that cool kid stole his best friend. Peter is furious with Jude for taking his place in Paul's life. Listen, of every irate, angry adult you see today exhibiting some traits is a reflection of a wounded child. Do you know many of the things that provoke us, make us react as adults? Trace well, you will see that there's a connection to yesteryears. So Peter blames Jude for having ruined his relationship with Paul. Peter was jealous. And when I say jealous, I do not mean it in that negative, evil way. He was jealous that Paul and Jude had a closer bond, and he was like a third leg in the wheel. Peter told Paul, let's get this guy out. Brother, it is you and me. Peter and Paul, them be one, no be two. Paul said, no. It is three of us. We are brothers. We are blood, one big family, onward together. Peter felt betrayed by his twin. When Peter and Jude had that backstage fallout, and in the heat of those emotions, he took to social media to announce that I have fired Jude. Jude is no longer our manager. PSQUARE is Peter and Paul. Jude is just an employee. He was expecting Paul's support. Paul's loyalty, Paul's concurrence. His heart shattered into many pieces when Paul made a choice, chose a side, and that side was not him. Paul responded with a picture of himself, Paul, and Jude. Edited Peter out of that picture. Peter was initially in that picture. Cropped Peter out and replaced Peter with a jukebox. Peter is responding from the disappointment and pain that his own twin brother chose another person, chose Jude being the other person, instead of him. Peter believes that Jude drove a hedge between them, that he is the reason why PSQUARE ended and why they didn't get to the pinnacle of their career as they should. So Peter resents Jude, and he resented him even long before he allegedly discovered these money issues and these allegations of fraud. So as I said in that clip, even before Peter came out with these confirmations, that money became the language to express his pain, his hurt, and his resentment. But the first and primary underlying factors were issues of feelings of betrayal, sabotage, and loyalty. Let's go on.
So years back, when my girlfriend then Lola was pregnant, I didn't want the news to break me. I decided to break the news because then there was too many baby mama of so celebrity, baby mama, so celebrity gave birth, so celebrity impregnated. I didn't want that to happen to me. We went for a Sound City Awards. We won 3 awards that day. When we were leaving the venue, the paparazzi, the media people gathered us. Of course, we held the awards. We were having more like an interview. Next thing I did was, they said, well, who are we dedicating the awards? I picked up the first award. I said, this award is for God, I'm Almighty, I praise God with that one. Second one award, I said, I dedicate this award to the fans and to everyone who has supported us. The last one, I say, this one is for the mother of my unborn child and my incoming son. Next thing, Paul and Jude walked away from the media setting.
As I mentioned, even before Peter came out with this video in part 8, ego tussles, respect and disrespect, unmet emotional needs. I pointed out to us in that 3-minute clip that most family crises do not start as financial or legal problems. They usually start emotionally. Money, property, business, and lawsuits only become the language through which deeper resentment is eventually expressed. Now, in this part, Peter talked about a period when Lola, his girlfriend at the time, was pregnant. Now, back then, getting pregnant outside of wedlock was not as popular and normalized as it is today. It was almost seen as something shameful. It was seen as something extremely shameful. The baby mama culture was just beginning to trickle slowly into our entertainment space, into our society through entertainment. It started with entertainment, right? So pregnancy outside marriage was not as normalized as it is today, where nobody sends you. In fact, it is now a lucrative business. So much has really changed in the last 15 years. Then, if a girl gets pregnant outside marriage, her father will literally put her out of the house, beat her out of the house. If you have a nice father, if you have nice parents, the best they can do is to take you to the village, not your father's side of the village, or maybe your mother's side, or your grandmother's side, where nobody will really know you, and hide you there. You will live out the years of your pregnancy there and give birth there. So it was not something that a lot of people were proud of. There was a lot of stigma attached to it. Now, I want us to be open-minded and honest with ourselves, because on this channel, we are not people pleasers. We're not crowd pleasers. We think from every every side of an issue. Do I think Peter taking the entire team by surprise and publicly dedicating one of the awards that came from the collective efforts of PSQUARE to his pregnant girlfriend or pregnant soon-to-be baby mama, do I think that that was the ideal way to break what the media will interpret as a scandal at that time? No, I do not think so. Without taking sides, we must be able to examine everybody's actions fairly. Peter believes that he had good reason and there was logic that he could defend. Let me break this news before the news breaks itself. Let me own my story, which sounds good. But that decision did not show respect and consideration for the structure around him, for the group, for the management, and for the people whose careers were tied to the brand. Something that's sensitive. And remember, I'm saying sensitive at that time because baby mama at that time is not the same as today. And the weight that blogs had on the careers of people then, it's not like now. If like we're talking, nobody will answer you. Then we saw Tonto DK come to national TV to defend blogs. We saw Toke Makiwa. Now celebrities don't even send you. Say whatever you say. Then the media had celebrities on choke mode. They used to come out to defend themselves. It's not now that they don't have respect for us again. So something that's sensitive should have first been agreed upon privately. You speak with your manager. There's a reason they are called managers. They are supposed to manage and package you. You speak with your twin brother, who is your partner in that business. You speak with the people organizing, managing the group, because you're not just an individual now. You are a brand. You speak with the record label, and then you decide together how you want to handle the announcement. Not because anybody has a right to control your personal life, but because when you are a part of a major group, some personal decisions inevitably affect the entire brand. If our personal decisions do not have any impact on our work life or on our brand, why is it that when somebody in the office is accused of maybe infidelity or maybe beating his wife or something that he did privately, the office will put him on suspension? Won't the office say that is his personal business? If he has an affair, that's it. Why is it that even in corporate settings, when an individual acts out of line in his personal life, just as Natasha Ni Idibia, when she was jumping up and down with Two-Face doing rubbish, the house summoned her and said, if you don't behave yourself, we'll suspend you. Because personal decisions can affect company branding. Even Ariana Grande, a few days ago, because she has been under scrutiny for a while. She has lost a lot of weight, so people are speculating her health, her weight, her this, her that. It is her management that is packaging the situation and giving official statements. A few days ago, they just released a statement that she will be taking a break from the public. This is not her, as big and as successful as she is. She cannot just come out and make a big announcement without, I'm not saying the management should announce pregnancy for another man, but she cannot just make a big announcement without the notice and the agreement of the label and of the team. So I want us to take note there and learn from that. We must have respect for structure wherever we find ourselves. And so when Peter made that announcement, shockingly out of nowhere, dedicating their award to his pregnant girlfriend, they walked out. Not necessarily because they hated him, but in protest of that behavior. Now, did they themselves do well by going oha for oha, egusi for egusi, afang for afang with him? No, they didn't. Because two wrongs can never make it right. But I am just demonstrating how emotional pile-up, emotion after emotion, can ruin relationships long before other things do. And one thing that keeps coming through in Peter's own narration is that Peter appears to have been very impulsive and highly emotional. He often acts first before he deals with consequences later. And that's why in that last video we made on PSQUARE, he was always the one coming out going in. Sorry, we have broken up today. Okay, sorry, we have made up tomorrow. Okay, we have broken up again now. Okay, don't bother. Don't worry, we have made up. He was the one doing that. So if you aren't capable of checking your emotions, you will always find yourself making rash decisions that will be regrettable when the emotions have fueled those actions fade or subside, because emotions are not stable. They go high and low, right? So this is a lesson for all of us. If you do not have the emotional intelligence to manage your own emotions, you will struggle to manage relationships with others, because relationships are not sustained by logic alone. Nobody moves around marriage or moves around friendship or moves around relationship with their masters and their PhD. It's not logic or intelligence, academics that sustains relationship. It is those impulses, those emotions. So emotions matter. Timing matters. Respect matters. How you make people feel matter. Peter also narrated another incident where, after an altercation with Jude, he fired Jude on the spot, and immediately he went online to announce that Jude had been removed, had been sacked as manager. But I want us to honestly think about that for a second. I want us to use our heads, because we're going to be addressing everybody and everything. This is a group involving two principal members, at least two principal members. It is almost like having two directors of a company, and one director suddenly announces in the middle of a public gala, in the middle of one public event where there's press, where there's everything, because social media is like announcing you have over 1 billion audience, right? So this first director just announces suddenly in the middle of a public gala that the CEO that they both hired, him and the other director, has been fired, without first reaching an agreement with the other director. Even if you are angry, that is not the best way to make such a major decision. And I know that right now, a lot of people are sympathetic towards Peter, and we do not want to hear anything. In fact, right now, some people, they vex. They are angry. They're like, no, this is not what we want to hear. We want you to help us to finish Paul and Jude. No. But you know me, I will always look at things from every single angle, hate it or love it. And let us not forget still that this one that we are hearing now is Peter's version of events. And it is simply human. It is simply our nature as human beings that when we tell our story, when we tell a story, we naturally explain our decisions in a way that makes sense from where we are standing. We emphasize our pain and minimize our reactions. So sometimes we may not even realize the impact our own behavior had on other people. It's like having two children. This summer break is God that will help my BP. Children, like having them coming to reports, sometimes you have two children come and tell you two different versions of a single event, each and every one of them fine-tuning and narrating the story in a fashion that makes them appear completely right. So when I look at PSQUARE's story, I do not see perfect victims or perfect villains. I see wounded people. I see ego. I see disrespect and fight for respect. I see resentment that was never properly addressed. I see unmet emotional needs and battles. I see loyalty tussles. I see people reacting to one another until the reactions become bigger than the original offense. Peter is there, feeling like Jude and Paul are neglecting him, are ganging up against him, are doing this and doing that, that Jude prefers Paul. Jude is partial. Jude took Paul from him. Paul and Jude are, on the other hand, feeling like Peter is just ungrateful, impossible to please, impulsive. He doesn't listen. He doesn't respect structure. He's hard-headed. In fact, let me just tell you, I think Peter and Jude are of the same temperament. They are both stubborn, hot-tempered. They know they agree. And when two people like that come together, bus will be bussing, bottle will be flying. Paul, I perceive, this is my perception, do not really have that nature. He's not, I don't see him as one that is hot-blooded or hot-headed. He can easily align with either of them. Paul and Peter can parley very well. Paul and Jude can also parley very well, but not Peter and Jude. Nobody go agree. Two cholerics. So before I proceed with this video, let me ask you honestly, I want you to reflect. Do you believe that everybody in this story played a role in how things eventually got this bad? Or do you believe that this is entirely the making of Paul and Jude? Do you think that if Paul told his story first, or if he tells his story now, if he tells it now, because of the ground has already been set, right? But do you think that if Paul came out to tell his story first, that we may have a different understanding of this conflict and see different angles to this story than we are seeing it now? Do you think so? Drop your thoughts. In law, there is something we call the danger of a single story. And that is why I didn't want to talk about this until I have enough information. But let's continue. So what happens next after Paul and Jude walked out when Peter made that announcement? Let's listen.
Picked the car, turned around, entered the car, or drove. Left the venue towards headed to third man, and Jude pulled over and said, "What was that for?" I said, "What's the problem? Now, do you know how this thing is going to ruin our career?" I said, "How ruin our career? I don't want the news to break me. I decided to break the news."
Do you know how this news is going to ruin our career? Let us draw out the next point and my next observation from the crisis in the Okoye family and what is really playing out with these brothers. The next point I would like to emphasize on is the fact that good intentions are not enough if your actions communicate something completely different. Good intentions are not enough if your actions are signaling something else. Now, according to Peter's account, after that award show, they got into the car and they drove off. At some point in the middle of the road, Jude pulled over hysterically, angry at him. And what did he say? "Look what you've done. Do you know the impact that this will have on our careers, on your brand?" Now, at this point, it is possible that in Jude's mind, he genuinely believed that he was protecting Peter and Peter's brand. Not only was he a brother, he was a manager. It was his job to protect Peter's brand. Look at where PSQUARE was at the time. Young, handsome men getting into the height of fame, winning major awards, international shows, becoming one of the hottest music acts on the continent. Their careers were taking off globally. Who was not dancing to PSQUARE now? Why are you looking at me as if you didn't experience that era? Leave Gen Zs that don't know the history of these things. They're just commenting. Gen Zs don't know. We, the millennials, we know how this whole thing started. So Jude, as their manager and elder brother, may genuinely have been thinking, "Peter, do you understand what this announcement can do to your image? How starting a family can change the trajectory of your career? Do you understand how people will react, the media, the fans, because it was mostly girls that were their fans. See girls, when they do like this, whoa, like Michael Jackson, girls will faint, wow." And don't forget that there was also the mentality that people have around successful men. I don't even want to use the words. There is the mentality that people have around successful young men, that once money and fame comes, all kinds of women will suddenly appear around you for different reasons, most for ulterior motives. It is not uncommon. And the families of these men begin to feel like they have a responsibility to protect you, to shield you from people that they believe may be taking advantage of you or of this newfound fame and fortune, or people who may be coming for ulterior motives. Not to talk about this case, that the lady was a big lady already. She was 8 years older, a socialite. Lola was a big chick, a socialite. She was seen like somebody where her eye don't tear, reach back, join for here, turn to alien. Painted like this mature mama wants to hook this small upcoming boy. Now, I'm not sharing my opinion with this line I just said. I am telling you how many people see it that they wouldn't tell you on social media. Age gap relationships and marriages were not a thing in Nigeria then. They even still are not. Few days ago, there was a headline where one popular pastor lady was like, well, how did she put it? Young men marrying older women is a red flag. People were attacking mommy, but me, I knew that this is the sentiments of a lot of people. They don't want to type it on social media because they don't want bashing. The average Nigerian family will go, about a lady 8 years older than their child coming to trap him with pregnancy. I put it in quotes because that's how they will say it. Even up till today, people are still insulting Sophia Momodu, calling her old woman for having a child with Davido because she is a few years older than him. So what I am driving at is that there may be the possibility that there was genuine concern from Jude. But here is the problem. His actions, as Peter describes them, because I was not there, and nobody else is corroborating Peter's story. I am just reacting from Peter's narration, assuming that it happened as he is telling it, right? Jude's action did not communicate concern. It communicated hostility. It communicated control. It communicated disrespect. It communicated, I know what is best for you, and therefore I have a right to determine what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And there is a very big difference between guiding somebody and controlling them. You can advise somebody without imposing yourself on them. Even young teenagers at 13, 14, 15, if you impose your opinion on them, you go hear them. People will be fighting all the time. So you can say, Peter, I think this is going to affect your career. Are you sure you know what you're doing? You can say, I think that you are moving too fast with this lady. You can disagree with his decision, but you must recognize that Peter, being an adult, there must come a point when you have to allow him to make his decision. Even if the decision was wrong, you allow him to live with the consequences of that decision. And according to Peter's own story, I keep on stressing that because we are interpreting Peter's version of the events, openly threatening his girl, even if it was a girlfriend, openly threatening the woman who was about to be the mother of his child. Jude allegedly going as far as suggesting that Lola should take out the pregnancy. If that account is accurate, then that is where advice has started crossing a very serious boundary, because it's no more, brother, I am worried about you. It's now Jude entering deep personal territory involving a man's partner and his unborn child. And there is no man born of a woman that will sit for that. And that is something that I think a lot of us need to learn and work on. We need to understand that about relationships. Brother and sister relationship, husband and wife, friends, so any kind of relationship. You cannot continually hurt somebody and defend yourself by saying that you meant well. Nobody lives in your head. And at some point, your intention and your behavior has to match. I didn't mean it that way. Cannot become a permanent excuse. Because imagine somebody repeatedly hurting you, and every time you complain, instead of reflecting that, oh, maybe I need to change my approach, their response is, but I didn't mean it that way. Okay, maybe you didn't, but this is what your behavior communicated. Our intentions are invisible, they are intangible. People experience us through our actions. And Jude's actions at this point was screaming hostility. It is only with children that you can sometimes say, don't worry, when you grow up, you understand why I did this, what I am doing to raise you. It is only with children. But when you are dealing with another adult, you cannot expect them to simply trust the process while your behavior is continuously making them feel controlled, disrespected, or unheard. An emotionally intelligent person should be able to ask, even if my intention is love, why does this person continue experiencing my behavior as hate? If my intention is protection, why does he feel controlled by me? If my intention is guidance, then why does he feel like I'm trying to run his life? That doesn't automatically make our intentions evil. It might simply point out to us that our methods, our approach was wrong or is wrong. And this is one of the places I believe that Jude crossed the line. In many Igbo families, especially when the father is maybe late or absent, many times the elder brother can begin to carry responsibilities within the family. Sometimes he might, be like a father figure to the younger ones, protection, sacrifice, wanting to keep everybody together. But you must know, dear big brothers and elder sisters watching me, are you hearing me? At some point, your younger brother stops being that little boy that you were holding his hand and taking to go and play football. That your baby sister is no more that tata that you were changing her diaper. She becomes a woman of her own. He becomes a man. Obi will not remain a boy. Obi will become a man. And that relationship has to evolve. If it doesn't evolve, that person will revolt. So he has to move from I make decisions for you to I advise you and you can make your decision. That transition is extremely important. It's even important between mother and child, not to talk about siblings. It's mothers that refuse to understand that end up causing problem in their son's family with their daughters-in-law because they don't know when to transition. When you continue relating to a grown man like a child who must obey you, eventually he is going to rebel against you, even when some of your advice may actually be correct. And I think that difference matters in this PSQUARE story. So Jude may have believed, I'm protecting my brother from vultures, while Peter may have been experiencing, my brother is trying to control my life. I will not let him. I am a man of my own. Both perceptions can exist at the same time. And that is one of the biggest lessons that I would like us to take from this disclosure. I would like to bring today's video to an end. No, we are far from done. We're going to continue very shortly in the next video. This one has stretched for some time. In our next video, we are going to address the major conflicts that Peter exposed in this part 8. And as always, there will be plenty of reflections and lessons to take from it. We're going to be talking about his mother, the role she played, and of course, the elephant, the alligator in the room, Lola Omotayo Okoye. Stay glued for that one because you do not want to miss it. So guys, yes, we have come to the end of today's video. If you are new here, you are seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching us without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your thoughts down in the comment section, and stay glued for we have so much more coming your way. Don't forget to join our premium channel if you haven't yet, where you can get access to exclusive videos that I make just for you on life, marriage, love, self-development, and so much more. Scan this code to join, or you can join here on YouTube by clicking join just beside the subscribe button. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you in our next video. For now, bye.